Greetings, fellow slinging agents in the wild. Welcome back to the show. Well, if you're seeing my face, that can only mean one thing. It's time for the After Action Report. I'm not going to say a lot in this intro, as most of it will be said in the episode itself. I do have a shout out. It's from good friend of the show, Balent Bobos, who wrote, "This was epic, guys, as usual. Congrats on the finale." To that I say, thank you, Balent. And to all of you listeners who listen to this latest season, thank you for all of your comments, for all of your write-ins. Like I said, we do it for us, we do it for you, we do it for the world. The only thing that will endure after the comet smashes into the planet. To that, moving on. Don't forget, we're going to be going into our between season break. That leaves me time that I need to finish writing playthings. You know, I love writing these homebrews, but there's a certain time element that exists when I'm writing them. I try to make them intricate enough, but that these places can also be found on a map. So obviously I take liberties with the NPCs and certain institutions, but for the most part, you can follow along. But it's also all the connecting tissue that binds the story together. The hooks, the false leads, the double crosses, the revelation that there's more than the agents were first aware of, the mythology. I don't want to shortchange either the Hard Slingers nor you agents in the wild. So thank you for your patience as I'm trying to put the finishing touches to this, and as we truly continue to bring to all of you quality listening drama. All right, it's time to warm up our dice and top off our glasses. Roll the Hard 20 presents Borrowed Souvenirs, Episode 7, After Action Report. Oh, and Katana Janavara. You write this time down. You know, I'm still going through the edits.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm up to episode 5 right now, though. So,
Oh, yeah. Episode 5.
Yeah. Yeah. What can I say? You were right. We both were right. And I remember doing all this math. No, the time is this and that, blah, 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 blah. But when I heard the episode, I remember saying at the top of the episode what time it was. And then I remember hearing when you got to the museum what time I said. And I'm like, that's totally fucking wrong. It's totally wrong. So I had to do a little creative editing to make the time better. So how's everybody been doing? Are we ready to do this after action report so we could put the final nail in this coffin that is Borrowed Souvenirs?
Yeah. I'm
Borrowed Souvenirs.
I wish it was a little earlier that we did this, because I always have to remember what happened.
You know, that's what's so hard about it being 2 different time zones, literally coast to coast, and you know, trying to find everybody whose schedule works and stuff. And you know, I guess Tone's bailing this weekend. That's why I guess we needed to do it tonight. So
We'll figure it out. I'll buy 50 acres of land somewhere in central Texas, so it's 2.5 hours each way. Then we'll have enough for all of our houses, all of our women and children and all that, and we'll build a compound. I don't know against who. The interlopers, how's that? Whoever that is.
Yeah, that works. The Moluccans.
And we'll make sure it's near a Costco so we can get some good red meat and tires and cars and underwear. You know, they have everything like shop and stuff.
Well, let me bring us in, and we'll
in,
discuss this AP. Greetings, fellow slinging agents in the wild. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, and with me, my Hard Slingers of Yore.
Hail, hail.
Whoa.
Drinking
Everybody takes out a pool of
juice.
whatever.
This is This is Augustiner. No, not Augustiner. This is Poliner Salvator. So it's kind of dark.
Right on.
It's more of an amber ale now that I'm looking at it under the light. But it's pretty tasty. It came in the Poliner multi-pack.
I know Ryder doesn't like amber, so it leaves a bad taste in his mouth.
Anyways, moving on. So, this season, Borrowed Souvenir, another one of our homebrewed scenarios. This was more of a palate cleanse after coming off the past couple of seasons that we had with Lot 27, Collateral Damage, Little Treasures, Acquired Taste, everything kind of wrapping up this dark feeling. This was more of one of those high adventure, pulpish kind of scenarios we put together.
My favorite.
Yeah, you like those. You like those self-contained on, point A shows me point B to point C, point D, and moving down the line. So tell me a little bit about how you felt about this before we start picking this thing, pulling this onion apart.
Well, what I really like about these types is they're very linear. Like Lot 27 was also very similar. It's like there's not a ton of locations. There's not a ton of craziness. It's all like, oh shit, we went to this exhibit and it seems like there was some kind of monster attack from the Himalayas. Oh, well, fucking, we know, as players, cool Yetis or abominable snowman. And I remember texting with the Deso, Brother Tony there. I'm like, it can't just be as clean as that, can it? No way. It's got to be some. And I start like spiraling on some kind of, M. Night Shyamalan conspiracy theory, and it's like, oh, well, I hope it's just a damn Yeti because that would be fun to fight one of those, Well, I really like those in between where it's not like this multi-plot. It actually was quite a bit of episodes for something that seemed like so grounded, but that's what's pretty cool about it is it wasn't that simple, but it had the feelings of something that's, a little meat and potatoes, but then you dig around and you find there's a little red chili flake, little garlic, a little shallot, little, bourbon where they burned off the alcohol and you just have the taste of that. So I like that kind of stuff.
I was concerned when I was putting it together that it may be too fast. And then so I started putting some different beats in there. And I thought, this will probably go like 5 episodes. And we ended up getting 7 out of it. Plus we have the interlude at the beginning and then obviously this one. So that's a total of 8 episodes. Tony, what were your thoughts about this before we
Same thing. Delta Green has the possibility to go in all kinds of rabbit holes, more so than D&D, because you expect it, right? Okay, the magic user conjures the whatever, and if we applied the same rules in Delta Green to D&D, it would be like, yeah, but there's a 2% chance that when you summon this, you also summon something from beyond the ether. And now you've got your 4th level characters fighting a 16th level whatever that your magic user happened to open a portal into. The same thing goes for us in Delta Green. The difference, of course, is there's no healing potions. There's no scaling magical spells. You just get a better skill, but you're ultimately still using a sword and a pistol or whatever it happens to be. So you got to be on point and focus on what you're doing. You can't allow yourself to be distracted. I would go back to not buried treasures, but
maybe little treasures.
No, not little treasures. I'm sorry, but the one before that where we went through and got into a storage facility,
Collateral
picked up a bunch of stuff, and then there was a portal there. There was something that we could have gone down, and there was something in that portal.
Yeah, that was Gaslight.
And then Gaslight. It was like, okay, let's not get distracted by the portal into another world over here. We're not going to go down the portal, okay? We're just going to get on mission. We're going to ignore that it was there, and we're moving on because we only have so many hit points. There are no healing spells, and it's not like, oh yeah, we'll just throw a fireball down there and see what happens next. Because what happens next may make it worse. So
yeah,
that's what I like about the Delta
interest too. Something just so random. I'm like, ooh.
It takes a lot now to pull you guys off point because I set things out there to see, okay, what are they going to do? And I'll put it together what's on the other side of that hole. Or I'll put it together what's on the next floor or what's this way or that way, just to see if you'll go that direction. And sometimes you don't. In fact, we did a, what was it, Future Perfect a couple of years back. Remember that?
I do remember that.
I just didn't think that there were enough crime scenes. But you guys never went to the one I created. Like I created a whole nother one that would have really opened up the AP because to me it just seemed like it needed a bit more. And so I ended up repurposing that in another scenario that I've got that's coming down the line that's called Rose of the Desert. So not Rosa, but Rose of
Orale Rosa.
Rosa.
Yeah. Not like the Iron Maiden song, Juanita.
Yeah.
So this AP took you guys to Portland, Maine, where there was a report that there were 5, a crime scene at the Cryptozoology Museum of Truth. And I don't remember if I told you there was 5 men that were murdered there, and Heisenberg wants you to go and investigate it, get some eyes on the scene, and report back stat. Now, Tone, as a Deso, when you guys arrived at this museum, which, by the way, the Cryptozoology Museum, there is an actual museum there in Portland, Maine, this is loosely based on. So if all you slinging agents in the wild want to research that, go for it. Nerds. But I guarantee you it will not be as sweet as this one. Anyways, so as you guys made your way along the path through this museum, there were several items that were strewn about. There was a horn of a unicorn, there was a Bigfoot, there were the Chupacabra exhibit, there were some other things. And I remember, Tone, you'd asked me what was real and what wasn't, and I said that I would let you make that guess. And these are things that we can kind of talk about right now. But before we do, Sam, did you notice that there was that display case that had that burned small bipedal individual in the black and white photo and the set of teeth, and it said Mistwalker on there? Did you get
I remember you saying
that
the
photo
Mistwalker
was of?
Do I know what the photo was of?
Yes. Did you pick up on that?
No, I didn't, because I was actually writing down everything. But I wrote down Mistwalker.
No, there was a photograph on the wall, and it was a picture of one of our other ladies from a long time ago when she was a young girl, and at her waist she had one of those obsidian daggers.
No, you got that. But the one I was talking about had the mummified, possibly burned remains of a small bipedal creature.
Yeah, like it was a UFO crash.
Placard, proclaiming this is the dead offspring of a Mistwalker. And there is an old-time black and white photograph of a man with slick black hair and a dark suit.
Dalka.
Yeah. Dalka.
Yeah, so, it seemed like not all of it, but a lot of it was things that we had encountered or had knowledge of encountering, which was cool. And again, this is another, I think it's more of my problem than with the game system, is I always feel such a sense of urgency that in this one, I actually feel like I slowed down a bit and didn't blaze through as much. But next time when there's things like that, especially when there's time to do it, I want to explore more of the things and look at them and chat with, you at Deso, like, hey, is this, a Dalka, or hey, what about this? Like, all that kind of stuff. But I always I think I get really into the character and the urgency of these things, and it's like it's not on our mission. So,
well, see, that takes us back when I was telling you it's so hard to pull you guys off point. That's what all this stuff was designed to do, was to pull you guys off point, because I can't just put a room somewhere, where you guys go, oh, let's go pluck this, pluck that. I had to try to draw your attention to things along this they called it the exhibit path, basically, you're going through. And it was so that you would look at, as you're walking through, you kind of catch a glimpse of this and a glimpse of that, and you're wondering, well, is that real or is that fake? And then when you start learning who the curator of the museum is, this Baldino character, you start realizing who he is. You immediately notice that he had that ring on his pinky finger. Looks just like Heisenberg's, and he told you
like mine.
Exactly, like yours now. But he told you who made the ring for him, Now, whether or not that has any truth behind it, that's something you can investigate. Maybe in an interlude, if you wish.
Lensist or whatever his name was at Old World Metallurgy.
Yeah.
Franco Lensist.
That's it.
What was it? He was at Old World Metallurgist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to, and we did this in this game where you said, okay, you have, basically three rounds or whatever you can do before X happens. So maybe with things like that in the museum, to keep that sense of urgency and focus, that's like, okay, you see Mr. Baldino coming out. You can look at three things before he's there and talking to you. And then so I could go like, oh, well, maybe I want to take a look at the Abigail one, or maybe I want to take a look at take a quick picture of that black and white photo and see if it was Dalka, later on or something like that. Because I like the idea of keeping it like, urgent. And I was telling Handler and Adesso earlier, a couple days ago. It's like, I think I'm going to have each bring some sort of a bag or something to where it feels like I could maybe grab some things and put it in there if they feel like they're of importance. Because like one of the fears I had in this, maybe we're jumping ahead, where there were all sorts of weapons in this exhibit, and I didn't know if we needed one of those to help us to defeat this apparition Yeti that we were fighting. And so, I didn't want to just sit there and be like in D&D and grab like, oh, I'm going to grab all the weapons from the guards. I'm going to grab all the things from that and just have this like, giant sort of thing. But I'd love to have where I can go, okay, shit's coming down. I'm going to take that Aztec looking club with the chips of obsidian and just pocket it in this bag when we're leaving. And just, I'm going to, but it just seems weird. I'd be walking around with it, and all these items and shit.
Well, it's like you said, what would it be affected? It reminds me of that scene from Hellboy when he's showing his Samaritan and he's got the specialized ammunition and he pulls it out and it's like it's got a solid gel cap to the round where it's like, yeah, it's got silver, white oak, holy water, sage, the works. And I'm like, yeah, I love it. Can I do one of those too? It's like, what affects it? Silver? Good, got that. Holy water? Got that too. White oak? All right.
The thing is that as you're going through and we're putting this whole thing together where you say, okay, you've got, 1d3 rounds to do what you got to do. It's one of those tropes that we got to put in the right spot.
Yeah.
Which, when we got to the Francois Hotel, to me, that was the perfect spot as you guys are frantically looking and dealing with all the stuff that you're doing, because there is a timeline on what's going on. And we'll get to that in a minute too. Let's talk about the crime scene. Obviously, you saw what was left of this battered equipment. You saw that there were no bodies, though, and you were informed by Detective Frank Faulkner that, this crime scene, everything was already busted up like this by the time we got here. Mr. Baldino called this in. Obviously, pulled that from Columbo.
There we go.
Whom I love. with my
And one more thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure me and the missus, we would never get invited to a place like this. There's just no way. But yeah, he was always meant to help do a bit of exhibition. Have trouble with that stupid word. Exhibition, expedition, exhibition. Just all
with the Columbo trench coat.
All my exes. So it kind of led you down the line of when Baldino was talking to you, telling you what had happened and gave you the manifest. And that was key to you guys realizing that there was something amongst all this busted up shit, that there was one thing that was missing. Actually, there was two things that were missing, but he didn't tell you about the second thing. He told you about the one thing, which was the door J. The second thing he never told you about, which you didn't find out about until you met Wilkes, was the Sherpa. Mm-hmm. And that was where I was able to show that it wasn't just as simple as a Yeti. that it was something behind the Yeti that was doing all this. Of course, you guys picked it up pretty quick that the Dorje had something to do with bringing the Yeti, and I wasn't trying to obfuscate any of that from you guys because I like
called
watching
the bringer
you guys.
of storms. It's like,
Yeah, I wanted you guys to get the feeling of what was going on, and now you got an idea of what's doing all this stuff, but how do you stop it, and what's its mission?
Yeah.
Because when you went to
I
the
was
medical,
thinking about that, like how the hell, if we were to bring it down to 0 hit points, does it get dispelled, or can you just not kill it? Or if we, like, I was totally concerned about that, like when fighting it, because I saw bullets didn't do anything to it, and my blade, I guess, did, but I still don't know if you were subtracting anything away,
I didn't,
or anything like that.
I didn't start subtracting till you killed the Sherpa. Then it was game on. What I didn't know was what you did at the end, and we'll get to that because that was straight up movie magic. That was amazing. Like that right there. You know what? Where's the... I told you I was going to do this for you anyways.
What's
and
that?
I told you at the end of the episode, but we had already shut it off because of what you did. I'm going to give you a gold doubloon when we get to that point. Because that was straight up awesome. That is totally awesome. But anyway, so let's move this along so we can get to that part. So you guys went to the medical examiner's office because that's where you told the remains were being sent to, and you met Dr. Judy Matthews, and she basically told you all these bits are all the pieces, that there's nothing missing. They were just shredded up.
And
But
who was
also-
she? 'Cause she's a big bitch. She was like 6 feet tall or something, you said, right?
Yeah,
Is
well,
she
I've been-
modeled after anyone?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the ME. She was just real tall.
Well, just the fact that she was really tall. I've been watching Game of Thrones, so I was thinking of Brienne of Tarth.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, yeah, I just wanted to be really tall, somebody that's wearing flats, because you always meet these petite women or these older nerdy
Mousy.
men. I wanted somebody that, hi, it's ma'am. I wanted something like that.
Like
So,
a Richenda. Gotcha.
yeah.
yeah.
But she was able to give you these photographs that were taken from this damaged camera that was brought back from the expedition to the Himalayas. And she also gave you the camera. What you didn't realize, I don't know if you realized it at first, but this didn't come back with Holloway's group. This was what they recovered from the previous expedition. So, all those pictures showed the cave, and it showed everything going on, and then the final picture was the camera was in free fall and showed this half of a face, kind of like the whole Jaws thing that you saw in Jaws 2,
Yeah.
where the camera fell and it took a picture of like the tooth and the eye. That was to
Yeah.
kind of give that whole feeling behind it, which is when we start talking about Wilkes. That's where he kind of got his voice from. But
I didn't pick up on that.
no,
all.
not at all. In fact, I edited it out so you didn't seem so stupid.
God damn.
So when you guys left the medical examiner's office, first of all, did you have any questions about what went on with that, or want to elaborate?
No, that was pretty clear and straightforward. It wasn't like some of the other MEs where like the crime happens there, or you show up and the place has been ransacked and all the bodies are gone. And it's like, oh shit. Or we got to intimidate the ME to give us all his files and documents and samples. And hey, thank you very much. We'll take it from here. We're the
Well,
government.
everything-
We're here to help.
Everything just dissipates with it, right? So any fur or hair, spit,
Yes.
saliva,
Yeah.
DNA just goes away.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like there are certain beats we hit when we're playing each one of these scenarios. With the medical examiner this time around, she was to give you the photos, but it was to get you away from the museum so that when you were walking out, two things happened. One is you noticed Baldino was waiting for you in the parking lot, and Each's phone began to ring, and that was to separate you two, but you didn't separate. You guys ended up staying together, and so that's when he told you that he didn't know who made the call to the agency. He was still looking into that at the time, and that they were still looking for Holloway and Wilkes. And then when you went to Baldino after you hung up, I think Heisenberg also mentioned that Sunset Red was behind the Cryptozoology Museum of Truth. And that was the first time I think you guys learned who their their benefactors of that place was. And each, you already know who that is. Same with you, Odesso. You guys both remember them from Lot 27 and from the one that each did when he went out to the San Jose Mountains, and what was that, Diamond Bar, I believe it was.
Yeah, like the desert area.
Yeah, we're at Central Branches Incorporated. No, not Safe House. The other one, though.
Okay.
One of the things that keeps coming up, and we never get into because maybe it's just a step too far, is I'm just still trying to figure out the inner workings of Delta Green. Who's in charge? How do they have the connections to the power they do? But I guess it's kind of like an origin story that doesn't need to be told. And if you tell it,
bringing our
kind of
own,
leaves much to the imagination.
We're bringing our own lore into a lot of this as well.
Yeah. Therefore, it's an interesting proposition where you could say, yeah, there was a Delta Green that you all know and love from the traditional books, but there was a schism, and our people made a decision to go with Heisenberg, who formed his own agency using his own connections, and now we're kind of at a faction with the other guys because they're loyal to a Illuminati kind of organization that runs within the government, whereas we are more altruistic. Our goal is to stop what the violations of the Nether, to push back against those things that bump in the night. And
yeah. Well, I think I said something at the beginning of Acquired Taste that there was something was going on, and they were restructuring the hierarchy, and that all teams, all cells would report only to their individual handlers. That the handlers would become their liaison between the hierarchy of the agency and those agents beneath that person. So they would have no more interactions with one another, and the one liaison would not interface with another. They all had like a pecking order that was like a straight peg rather than a pyramid.
Remember we met Mrs. Blackthorn or Mrs. Black, whatever her name was?
Right. That was in
Thornhill. And
right.
she gave us I got the impression from her there was a different faction, and we were making allegiances then because she was like, you don't report to Heisenberg, report back to me.
Right.
And we were like, no, we'll report to Heisenberg, and she was not happy with that. So I think that was the first time we got a peek behind the inner workings of the organization.
I believe that was also when you guys had to start going on the run too.
Yep.
For a while.
Yeah.
So
It was right after that. Right after the one with the Camaro, right?
Yeah.
No, I think it. I thought it was after Under a Pale Moon.
Yeah,
because
I think
it was the
after
one. It
Pale
was
Moon.
a victim of the art where she appeared, and you guys were going through all that stuff. But then after that, you guys went through Under a Pale Moon, and when you guys got back off the mountain, that's when things started going sideways. These are all great listens, folks. Make sure you get caught up on our archives. There's plenty of them there. Yeah, and I'm sure I'm even wrong with my own lore.
Yeah, Pale Moon was great because that's where it first introduced the idea that maybe each had been inflicted with lycanthropy or something similar to that. And so if you listen to this one and you heard that, I've been cured. I'm not sure yet, but it seems like it is. That's like a huge thing that's been spanning for, I don't know, probably a good year or two. I don't know how many campaigns, but it's like it's taken that long for, and the reasons that it's happened are still a little unclear because I've been seeing these flashbacks and visions and dreams. So I'm still finding out as you guys are, but that Pale Moon, Under a Pale Moon was where it first started, where that first happened to my character. I took a massive hit by a friggin' werewolf at the end of that.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that we're slowly leaking this out, and it will all come out, by the way, guys. It's not something I'm holding on to. I just always felt like when you get everything all at once, when the surprise is immediately spoiled, it tends to be forgotten after a while. It's like, oh, that's all it was. This way, as people are listening to all these episodes and all these different seasons, they can kind of start putting this together too through the interludes, the prologues, the epilogues, stuff like that. They can kind of stitch together what's going on with each. They could stitch together what's going on with Odesso and all of his little trinkets from his little toy box and whatnot, and all the stuff that went on at the docks. So
yeah, even our other characters too. Like we haven't played with them a while, but what I really like about how our group is breaking away from Delta Green in story and out of story, like literally, we're kind of coming up with our own idea for a group of people fighting against these otherworldly threats. And in Delta Green, if there was even the hint that each was infected by something from one of his missions, they would have wiped him out, greased him. In
Yeah,
this
you'd be the
one,
mission at that point.
yeah, I'd be mission each. But the idea that we have this group of, well, at the time, each had this sort of feral spirit going, and Agent Coldwell had this connection with this alien and was hearing things from it, even though it had died apparently. And Agent Rice had this sort of vision where he could see this programming. What is it? Alien? Is it, ancient cyclopean geometrical programming? Who knows? But like, it's almost like our own. And Adesso had this thing where he's speaking these ancient dead languages, and it almost felt like we were building our little X-Men team, like X-Men versus Cthulhu type stuff, where it wasn't as crazy comic book, but it wasn't the just brutal fucking harshness of Delta Green. It's like, oh, well, your character's got this thing. He's dead and you have to make a new character. It's like, no, if you want to kill my character, we're going to have a fight first. At least let me go out that way.
Yeah, and not that I'm babying you guys or carrying you along. And if anybody has listened to Proof of Concept, they can attest to that because of what happened to each. And I'm sure a lot of listeners are like, well, I see what happened. So what's going on with all this? Why is he still continuing on? And all this stuff gets metered out. But pulling ourselves back into Borrowed Souvenirs real quick. When you guys met Baldino in the parking lot of the medical examiner's office, he asked you what the medical examiner had said. And I think you were kind of questioning him. And again, he was being very coy about a lot of his answers. He told you that he answered to the moderators of the museum, a certain individual named Thomas Barron, who was one of them. And then he said that he was informed by Barron that Abner Wilkes had been in contact with him, and that's Kirk Holloway's assistant, that Kirk Holloway wanted to put together another expedition to go back to the Himalayas, and that Baldino was expected to go meet with Abner Wilkes. So he actually gave you the address, like, I may just be a little bit late. Why don't you guys go ahead and go? One of those things, like a wink, wink, like you go in my stead.
Wink, wink, nod, nod. We'll just follow behind you.
Yeah. One of those things, like, I'm going to accidentally leave this right here while I go, over there. And if it's gone when I get back, one of those kind of things. And that led you to the Francois Hotel, where you met Abner Wilkes. And it was funny because as you went up to the 7th floor and spoke with this guy, and he started getting ready to tell you what happened. And Sam, it's so funny because I reached back and I'm like cracking my hands, and you're like, all right, exposition. Once again, fucked up that word. And then that's when he started playing it out, all the stuff that had happened in the Himalayas and Kirk Holloway and all the stuff that had gone wrong. And you learned about the previous expedition led by Kramer, this individual Kramer, and his team, and that they had supposedly found something.
Yeah.
That was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, that was a thing where I knew this guy was doomed. There's like no way that I would be able to save him, or if, I even could fight against whatever's gonna come and get him.
Well, we ended that episode when you guys were walking in the parking lot and it got cold. The temperature just started dropping, and you turned around and you saw this creature climbing up the face of this.
That was awesome.
Just, crashing in.
I was like debating whether or not, it's like, why am I going to run up there? The guy's going to be paced. By the time I get there, it's going to be gone. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know.
Why did you go up there?
because I had to at least try. I had to at least see what this thing was like, because we had no idea. But we saw something crawling on the outside.
'Cause-
But I didn't think that sitting around there doing nothing, trying to find it in this parking lot full of people was going to help.
And that was like a gamble that I was taking because I'm like, I don't know if they're going to go up there. Because a lot of it in my mind as I was putting it together, I'm like, this kind of reminds me of Gaslight when they went and found Doc Rondal and they, that jumper, that shadow creature that he had. I'm like,
Yeah.
and that, remember, it took that team out that was already up there. I'm like, maybe they won't go up there. Maybe they'll just look for the guy out here in the parking lot. And you guys split up again. And Tone, you were covering the parking lot, trying to play the, getting warmer, getting colder, getting warmer, getting
You
colder.
did a great job game mastering that one. You didn't make it obvious. It was hard to track. I'm sure that if I'd been more creative, you had already written where that guy really was. But I was clueless, and it was good that you gave me the hints of cold, warm, because I'm like, man, where is this guy? I'm thinking conventionally, which is he's got to have a line of sight. Maybe that wasn't necessary. Maybe he, through the use of the Dorja, got to see through the eyes of the creature. Doesn't need a line of sight. All he's got to be is close. How close? Half a mile? 3/4 of a mile? Mile? Who knows?
I think proximity is key to it, but the Sherpa could mentally interact and say, kind of like drive this thing, go up the side of the building and go in there, and whatever's in there, wipe it out.
Right.
And that was
this thing like a physical embodiment of like a spirit, or is it actually like a physical Yeti that's being teleported, or like what?
it's
is
a
there
physical
any kind of
Yeti
real
that's
logic to this?
being brought into existence, and it could be dismissed just as easy as is brought into existence. Like, had Adesso not found the Sherpa in the parking lot, you would have went toe to toe with this thing.
Yeah, I
But,
didn't
like,
even want to, but I had to see what, like, that's why I shot at it. I never use guns, but I wanted to see, I didn't want to engage it right away. Like that, it was mostly like, I'm trying to test the waters to see what we can do to this thing.
Well, I was thinking of like
Wait a
the
minute, I
Fly
found it,
2.
you're saying? I don't remember finding it. I remember looking for it going, man, I have no idea where this guy
You
is.
saw there was a silhouette that was on the corner of the La Quinta,
Ah,
and you started moving towards it. And as you started moving towards it, each took a shot at the Yeti,
yeah.
and that's when it turned around and threw that
Guy's head.
Wilkes head at you.
Threw the
It made me
head
think
at
of
the
like the Fly 2, and he's all and throws that body. And then it started coming towards you. Well, as you, Adesso, started moving towards the Sherpa, like he had to get going. He couldn't stay. So he had to break that connection, dismiss the Yeti, in case you cornered him and he had to make that Yeti appear in front of him. Like, kill this guy. So we were playing off both scenes at the same time to see whether or not, like, if you had both been in the room, you guys both would have fought this Yeti. And if you had dropped it, it would have dissipated. Like, you wouldn't have killed it, though. So that's
You
kind
can't
of
really, right? It just dissipates it.
You can, though. And we're going to get to that at the end of this thing, by the way.
okay, cool.
So when you left Wilkes's remains, he had given you an address of where to find Holloway. And you, but on your way to your car, you had got a call from Heisenberg telling you it's time that he knew who had made the call into the agency, and that it was Baldino. That at one point he was working with him, and that seemed to be playing both ends against the middle, and it was time to close him down. And you knew he was at the Cryptozoology Museum of Truth, and you guys went there. And that's when you found that he was back by the alien exhibit, which had been closed, and you didn't get to see what was in there. But on the floor was Faulkner. He was dead. Baldino had killed him. And then you guys started interacting with Baldino. And he no longer talked like this. And, well, I've been a curator here at the museum.
Yeah.
And then he starts, the whole facade dropped. And you realize that this guy at one point was an agent for the agency and had been disavowed.
I tried so hard to save him. I totally
I
would
don't
have let
think you
him
did.
go.
I just don't think you did.
What? How do you think?
I'm just fucking with you.
I didn't
You gave this
stick
guy so
something in
many
his
chances.
mouth.
But he at this point he was dead set on the course that he was taking. You know, like there was
They could have.
he
had
was
some
committed
on
to
him
it,
too,
what he
you
was
know?
doing. He was committed. But then you got to think, okay, well, if Sunset Red is the benefactors of this museum and he's working with them, what is their rank and file? Well, we know they have some tangibility to Ancestral Branches Incorporated. And now this too, and some other things. They were trying to buy that that stone that was in lot 27 that had the demon, the blood of
demon.
Official in there.
The blood of Official.
So
Sounds so good.
there's all these things that these guys are part and parcel to, but who are their rank and file? Where do they come from? And what is their end game? And that's, as we start moving, we're still dealing with that right now too.
And
But-
they weren't the ones that did the expedition in Darkwater, right? Isn't that Quantum Horizon?
That was Quantum Horizons.
Okay, so there's like these two organizations that are kind
Yes.
of, yeah. Okay, sorry, I was just
No,
thinking
you're-
of that because I was
I-
like, I
That's-
knew it was Quantum Horizon because we had one of their little guns too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time, one of their little glass pistols.
Well, even during Safe House, one of the bodyguards had that briefcase that had
Yep.
QH in the corner of all these weird ACLO-looking symbols and diagrams and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but going back to the museum, usually we try to put a little toy chest for you guys to pick apart, you know, get a few items. The alien exhibit was your weapons cache. And it was where you were able to get your
Yeah, his
Jack
two
blades.
Jack
What are
Yeah,
we
yeah.
calling them now? The toy box?
we're
I
calling
like
it toy
toy
boxes.
box.
Yeah.
The toy box or the junk drawer or whatever?
The junk, treasure
I mean,
chest.
we haven't really decided
Treasure
what
chest. Yeah.
treasure chest.
Yeah.
What-
I like
we haven't decided which one of those
toy
three.
box sounds good.
You like toy box? I like toy box.
It just
too.
sounds like, it's got all the toys in it,
Yeah,
and
like
it's
you go
kind
there
of
and like,
fun.
hee hee,
Yeah.
like Tone when we used to go out to the desert. Hee hee, look at this. You know, at the toy box. So I think that's
Look
the
what I
winning,
found.
I think that's the winning word is the toy box. So
Tone, put that away. Why? I've never had a real dragon before. Tone, we can't take the dragon with us.
But he won't eat much. Look how small he is.
But he did kind of give you some information about who he was, and basically, you know, what they ask you to give is everything, and then at the end they basically just chuck you over their shoulder when your usefulness reaches its culmination. Basically, you're done at that point. And I think that was where he became disillusioned, was when he became disavowed, that something that he had fought so hard for, that he had laid it on the line, that he had, you know, who knows how many lives he had taken, whether they were innocent or not, to accomplish the mission, and then just to be discarded. And I think he even said something to each, like, you know, this waits for you guys too. And that was when he was like,
Already been there.
yeah, he's like, I'm just gonna go out on my own terms. So, and then he took his own life with the poison capsule. So, and that moved you down the line to Kirk Holloway's residence. And when you got there, you found a man that was broke, in both financially and spiritually. At that point, you had asked whether or not he seemed like he had already mentally cracked, and he was just short of it. And he began to explain how, you know, he didn't kill Kramer. He started being accused of killing his father. By the way, Odesso, you and each were speculating, you know, Sam and Tony were both speculating back and forth whether or not you thought Wilkes and Holloway had killed Holloway Sr., that he had died at home with a heart attack.
The Holloway did.
He did.
Yeah.
He was the one that was responsible. Wilkes was not. Wilkes was there, but he was not responsible, and he didn't know. At one point, even though it's off screen and in the history, he would have been called into the room after Kirk had found his father had suddenly had a massive heart attack.
Yeah.
And that was the end. But it was Kirk that had done that.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yep.
Rich boy.
In the shadow of his old man and just needed the coin. And that's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
And then that's when the air began to drop in temperature. The doors burst open, and standing there was the Yeti. And you just let him pass by you, annihilate Kirk Holloway, but then you took a swipe at him. And then, Odessa, you went outside or something, and then the Yeti disappeared again. And when you looked at your car, you saw all the tires were slashed and the trunk was open. That was
This dude had some time.
Well, that was to imply that he was actually in your trunk.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
okay, I missed that
didn't
completely.
get that.
When
But
you
the trunk was
guys
open, it was empty.
Yep. When you guys went to the museum, he got in your trunk because he knew that you knew where Holloway was at. He was
Dirty
he was trying to
Sherpa.
find him. You brought him to him.
God damn! I didn't even catch that.
So I'm surprised with that, Tone. I thought for sure you
That
did.
I
was
didn't
good,
catch that
brother.
either.
That was very good. Sam, did you have an inkling?
Well, no, I thought that the trunk was open because he like got rid of the spare or something, or not that slashing 4 tires and getting, the spare was going to help. But yeah, I didn't put that together. Not now I look at it and go, oh, okay. Yeah, I would have picked up on that. But we were in like such a frantic state at that point, trying to figure out, it's like, this has to be the end, right? Like this is the final confrontation with the Yeti, right? And then, we got a plane ticket and a 48-hour flight to the mountains.
And that was what I really wanted. I wanted you guys out of country. I even had to look up, how it is that you are allowed to bring weapons into Nepal, and you had to go through, I think, Homeland Justice or something like that, or I forget what it's called, but what I said is what it is, and that's how you bring a weapon into that country or whatever. And you met the Sherpa's brother, who took you up the mountain.
Yeah, he was certainly willing to sell out his brother. He must have known that he was up there.
Well, I don't think he was willing, so much that he was willing to sell out his brother. I think he was just willing to take you up there because he didn't think you'd be coming back down.
Right.
Hey, I'll take you up to your death, no problem. Then whatever money you didn't give me and held in reserve, we'll get that. We're just going to get it anyways.
What I do like about this, because it could have been any person that led us up to the cave. Like, it could have been anyone. And then I was thinking the same as you, Tony. Well, why would the brother do it? So there could be a cool backstory where there's a rivalry or whatever. Or it's a great thing that leaves it open for potential sequel to this thing with the brother wanting revenge. Not that there ever would be, but I like that there is that thread still exposed now of this giant tapestry where, even though the story is done, well, the brother, he may want revenge, or he may be pissed, or maybe we'll see him again. I'm still hoping we see Joey again, the cab driver.
Well, if you
Turns
do
out
see
he's the actual leader of the fraction splinter group Delta Green.
Yeah, he's the head of Sunset Red.
Yeah. But if you do see the brother, you're not going to see him with the Dorje.
No, that's true. That got accidentally broke.
You didn't bring it. You just
such a shame.
No, burned. I'm saying like it. Yeah, it actually accidentally got destroyed is what I meant.
So you found yourselves at the cave, and you worked your way around the corner to the back, and you saw the Sherpa, Kaji, waiting for you with the Dorje in his hand. Summoned the creature, and then the whole thing started going crazy. You fought the Yeti. At some point, Adesso had center shot the Sherpa, causing him to drop the Dorje. And on your turn, Sammy, you made a dex check and grabbed the Dorje and dismissed it, like putting the genie back in the bottle. Like didn't even finish the fight. And I thought that was so cool because it was just one of those things like, here comes this paw coming down and just disappears. And like I said, for that, you do get a gold doubloon.
Excellent.
Ooh,
Let me hear it
on.
clack.
What you also
Throw it on
get,
the counter. Let me hear it clang.
All right, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, can I tell you real quick what my thoughts were on that?
Yes.
I thought for sure it was not going to do shit because, oh, that would have been too easy. Of course they're going to try it. This is how you really do it. But I got to tell you, oh, I just got little goosebumps right now. To me, it felt like one of those 80s movies where the nerd, the underdog, goes up to the prom queen and he's basically like, yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go to a movie or something? Not expecting shit. And she's like, yeah, of course. I'd love to. And he's like, huh? And it's you cue the music and they pan back and they're walking out the prom together. It's like it felt like such a unlikely way that it would work because of course that's how it would be. But no, and it's like and it happened and it was like it fucking pays to try some of these things. Like I didn't think we would be so lucky and that happened was such a fun ending instead of having to just sit there and we're fighting this thing and this was a much more movie ending that I loved or
The good guys win.
storybook ending. Yeah, like it's very rare. Most of the time the kids all die. The women die. The husband kills himself because his kids and wife and sister died. This one, it's like, oh shit, that was great. I loved it. That was such a fun ending and not the standard like you win 1 foot and you lose a mile.
Well, that's why I said we needed a palate cleanser after all the darkness we've been experiencing, especially each. And it was just really cool to see you guys come out. Now, if you guys had died up on that mountain, that would have been just as awesome because I would have just wondered to see what would happen when each walked up there and found both each and Adesso dead in the interlude.
What?
Yeah.
Each went up there to find us. Is that the temporal displacement thing?
Nope.
We were both up there.
I understand.
Ah.
I just said it would have been strange to see, for me to have to put together the interlude that showed each going up there and finding each and Adesso dead. And I'll just leave that out there. However, we didn't have to have that. And the fact that you were able to do that and dismiss it, it was just such a cool thing that I was like, I got to let this ride. This thing is that's just amazing. And scene. Literally the end. Then we went to the epilogue on the back end. So with that's cool. But now what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that you didn't dismiss it. And we're going to continue the fight.
Oh boy. There we go.
Right now.
Oh, like we did with the
Yes. With Gomez.
I still don't get what you're talking about, each finding each. Do the fight.
I'll explain it on the back end. Adesso, what's your dex?
If we win,
My dex is 11.
11.
See, now my question was, hey, are these awesome silver jacketed hollow points actually affecting anything? I'm going to find out.
We're going to find out. Each.
yeah.
You grab the Dorje and dismiss the Yeti, and yet the beast remains behind. That is your move. The Yeti, still in mid-swing, comes down on you with its fist. 24.
Fucking attack? Are you kidding me?
Damn, Skip.
For 4 points of damage.
You like how he starts it after the fact, where it could have been, I don't even choose to grab the Dorje.
Adesso, you see each reach down, grab the Dorje, scream something incoherent, and then you see the Yeti pummel down on him. You, from still at the curvature of the cave before it turns towards the end, you see the Sherpa dead behind the fire. What would you like to do?
So I haven't killed the Sherpa as I did.
No, he's dead. I'm saying the Sherpa's dead on the floor. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to take a shot at the Yeti. I got to save each.
I'm no one's mistress or damsel.
Shit. 78 under 56.
See?
Shot goes wild. Each. Once again, Dorje in one hand, Jackblade in the other, Yeti above you. What would you like to do?
You said there's a fire, right?
Yeah, it's a small little fire. It's not a rager.
No, that's fine. I'll still drop the door J in the fire, hoping that if I don't kill this thing, that it will burn it and not make it work anymore
Okay,
for the next person. But I'm gonna attack
give it.
with the jack blade.
Okay.
No, 38.
38.
Under 53. Damage. 10.
10 points. Jeez.
10. Yeah, it's a 1d12. Just like Tony's gun, but his has range. His can stop people running away.
As the Dorje begins to heat up and catch fire, you see the gems of it begin to start to glow and get hot. You see the Yeti's eyes begin to glow and give off the same kind of fire illumination that the Dorje is.
Oh.
It reaches to grab you each. 100.
Critical failure.
Critical
Right
fail.
on.
Oh, great.
I'm going to make a dex check. 02. It stumbles towards the fire and is able to keep itself from falling into it.
Ha.
Odesso.
Blast him in the ass.
Damn right, man. Round 2.
Literal round 2.
Yeah.
3.
53 under 56. I
Nice.
hit him. Eat lead. Now, this is the question I've had. Is this actually affecting him? My
Say what you
silver
used to,
jacketed
Tone.
hollow. Oh,
Eat
I
hot
love
death.
it. I rolled a 12. I rolled a 12. No bullshit. I want to show you guys, but I don't think I can get the camera to look at it. But I
all
rolled
right.
a 12 on my D12.
You're Italian and a lawyer. We trust you.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't trust me, but okay.
We'll pretend we don't, and we do anyways.
Yeah, good point.
You see this Yeti take it in the head, lurches its head at an oblique angle, takes a knee into the fire, and its leg starts to emolt.
Love it.
With the Dorje no longer in play, the beast has become susceptible to ethereal weapons. Sorry,
Love it.
material weapons, not ethereal. Whoa, where's your ghost blade? Within moments, its fur catches fire, raging up its body, blackening the cave above your heads. Eventually, you smell this burning fat and flesh and hair starts choking the cave, just getting nauseous all about you. Better get the hell out of the Himalayas, boys. And I will see you next session.
Yes. So, love it.
Good
Now
job.
I got to ask. Now that the session is over, would that have been the same result if we had been using standard ammo? If I had been using standard ammo?
No. Well,
No. Okay. Good.
let me rephrase that. All the results would have been negated because it was still like you could reduce it down to 0 hit points and it would dissipate.
Okay.
It could be reconstituted again. And it could continuously be reconstituted as long as that Dorje was still in the hands of someone controlling it or not destroyed at all. Like say you had found the Sherpa at the La Quinta and you shot at him and you rolled like a massive critical hit and you hit the Dorje and you broke it. It would have, the Yeti would have then been full-blown material at that point. Like it wouldn't have had the ability to disappear. So each would totally be fucked at that point. Maybe
Okay.
not.
Good to know.
We'll have to try that again. Let's roll for initiative. Anyways,
Real quick, so Tone had 2 gold doubloons, I think. I have 1. Did you say those disappear after the session?
they carry through.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, because I was wondering if they do like... Well, I figured the one I just got would be for the next one, but...
Well,
you know,
Tone
like,
used one, though.
I
He
did.
did one for a reroll.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So he's
Because
down
I
to
missed.
one.
Right?
Didn't like that.
Yeah, he missed and re-rolled it.
The idea that I was thinking of is if we wanted to say they dissipate, or they disappear, we could say, okay, so you had an extra gold doubloon. Okay, that gives you 1d4 plus 1 or whatever it is. on a roll to any one of your abilities that you have. So like it'd be a cool way to like use a gold doubloon to go, okay, I just got 3 points to my melee, because it takes like 3 misses to even get a roll. But it could be a cool way to get rid of gold doubloons, even just as a currency for a DM. Like if you don't want to have us have 5 gold doubloons we've saved up, it could be a cool way to go, oh well, you can use those to up your stealth or up your thing or open up a new ability at its base.
There we go. I like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off air and see how, we'll run through some of those logistics. I remember Koosh at one point had like 4 of them, and I drained them down in one setting. Like I didn't even realize it. He was asking questions or doing certain things, and he kept using the gold doubloon to offset it and get the answers, but they were draining him out of him. But he's like, I got a bunch of these. I might as well spend them. And it was kind of cool to see him put them in play.
Yeah, so, I want him to be more important than that, though.
I understand, but what I'm saying is like I'll get you to spend it. Maybe not Tone, but because he makes those make him cry, make the gold doubloon cry.
No, don't take it away. You hoard these like gold, like a goddamn dragon.
Anyways, so does anybody have any questions about how this thing went? Or
no, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. Enjoyed every minute of it. Sammy?
Yeah, I thought that was a fun adventure. I liked the I don't know. It reminded me a lot of like Lot 27 and Pale Moon. Like it wasn't too crazy in like what we had to figure out, or it wasn't too like dark and grim like the baby stuff, like the kids and stuff. It just felt
sweetness.
Like I don't mean to make
he's talking about
sound,
little treasures.
Little treasures,
I don't mean to make this sound bad, but it felt like a nice, fun, like Scooby-Doo thing. There was a cool monster that I could wrap my head around. We exposed it and we figured out the mystery and we succeeded on a high note. Like I said, it wasn't a dark victory. It was a
good victory.
It was like a cool comic book. Like, hey, I'm gonna Tone, read this. This was really good. Like it was a cool issue of Savage Sword of Conan where it wasn't
stupid farmer
dark and it wasn't dark and grim. And I mean, I like those, but like you said, it was a good palate cleanser. It was a good piece of ginger between the funky fish.
We needed a reset for some of the stuff because we still have a lot of dark things that are going on in the peripheral, mostly with each, trying to figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah, you threw out some fun stuff tonight we need to talk about.
Yeah, we do. But the next one
just blows over it.
The next one, which is tentatively called Playthings, that'll bring us back to form again. That'll be dark again. So, and I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, all right, brothers.
You guys given any more thought to having me GM one of these? Getting the handler a character to play?
I totally am down for it. You said you were going to put something together. I'm waiting for you to say, I've got it done.
Okay.
And I can devote more than 4
hours. I will
hours.
work on that.
Well, request Tone, if I can. We're putting together, like the idea of, we got Heisenberg in our group. I'd love to have a new handler that is like a new character that every time you do it, it's fucking, whoever your guy is. Like, I'd love to see what your handler would be like,
Well, you see, my thought is, since I don't want to ruin our continuity, Ryder would have to bring in his own character. And so the handler I would portray would be working in affiliation with Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Part of the same faction.
It's like the O'Rourke guy, like he's on our side, but he's a secondary, like, lieutenant to Heisenberg. Like, I'd love to get just building more characters. Like, I love, even though we don't play with them anymore, Rice and Coldwell had like cool kits. I want to see what Ryder's going to bring for his.
Yeah, design a character.
I'm excited. Let's do this.
All right, I'll put it together. I'm going to have a lot of time sitting in a plane, so I think what I'll do is I'll just put it together.
Those flights to Nepal are brutal.
See what I can do.
All right, brothers. Well, I guess we're going to call it a night then.
Yeah, I'll see you boys later.
All right.
And Tone,
keep the faith, brethren.
I got your call earlier today. I'm sorry I missed it. I was
That was actually a butt dial.
Oh,
I was
okay.
flicking through stuff, making my day, and then I looked down. I'm like, I'm calling Sammy. No, I'm not calling Sammy. I was supposed to call somebody else.
Goodbye.
Yeah.